Oh, it really is true. You do sound like Sunset Shimmer. I'm not saying that's a bad
Oh,
thing. I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
I'm so sorry.
Just wondering, is my mic loud enough? Because
Yes, it
I
is
don't know
loud.
what the
It is very
settings.
good. It's very good.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Sorry if you're hearing
Okay,
the
good.
outside. I'm sorry if you're hearing the neighbor's dogs. I'm
Oh
outside.
no, that's fine. I mean, we have two dogs here, so all you just hear, "Woo, woo, woo." One of them's a hunting breed, so.
Alright, I believe we are live in the podcast. Unsupported resolution. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Blazing Blade. Okay, okay, I think I better start the podcast. Hello everybody. I apologize for the barky dogs outside. Welcome to the Jedi Griffon podcast, and judging by the voice, you all know this is the talented Wubcake herself. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming into the podcast. Now, you already know by the title of this podcast, we're gonna be, I'm sorry for bringing this up, but we're gonna be talking about what was recently transpired from a podcast known as Breaking the Truth, Victor Vortex, that was done by Gilda Das about Rachel and a few others, along with Victor Vortex on the call, trying to explain why Victor is not as bad as everybody, including myself and Wubcake here, are portraying him as. So, before we begin, I need to recap to everybody who doesn't know what's going on with the Victor Vortex drama. Victor Vortex was revealed to be sexually role-playing with Angel Love while she was 14 at the time, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
While she was 14, she and Victor have been sexually role-playing, and the fact that Victor Vortex had made a confession video even confessing that he has done these heinous crimes, and tries to say that he wasn't aware that wasn't aware that she was going to go public with this, and trying to pace himself as a victim as well. But as you all know, in the recent podcast with For No Good Reason, Leo Convoy and a few others, I wish you were in that call as well, Miss Wubcake, that...
Yeah, I never got invited.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, you would like to... Oh, yeah, one of my friends is willing to ask if he's willing to join the podcast, if that's okay with you.
Also, can I have a link to the
podcast
stream thing?
Oh, the stream. Yes, oh, hold on. I'm so sorry.
Take your time, it's fine.
Yeah, I want you to see the chat, so that way if people want to ask Wubcake here a couple questions, because she knows Angel Love in person. She knows Angel Love.
Yeah, she's my best friend. I mean, well, we haven't met in person yet, but we've been friends for, like, I think since early 2015, I think?
That's understandable.
Like that.
It's understandable. It's very, very, very understandable. Hold on, John. I will add you into the podcast later, but right now I need to give Wubcake the link of the stream so that she could see the chat logs. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, where was I before the interruption with John? Sorry. Oh yes, the podcast. As I was saying, Wubcake knew Angel in person and knew that everything that Victor was saying in the podcast was BS, and trying to pace himself as a victim and saying, just saying that what the community is doing to him is toxic. Now, it also came to my attention recently of the podcast we're going to be talking about that was done by Gilda Dash with Rachel, or Ray the Lioness, as everybody knew her from the Lion King Heart Fantasy film series. She's trying to justify that Victor doesn't deserve to be bashed on for sexually role-playing with Angel at the time. And Wubcake, what are your thoughts on the whole statement during that whole podcast, in your honest opinion?
Okay, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you right now. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but my boyfriend did, and he told me basically, snippets and whatnot, the important stuff. One thing I want to mention is Rachel's been trying to go around like Harmony Studios and to some other VAs that are a part of Harmony Studios, and they're trying to say that, like, oh my god, Wubcake she has some sort of personal vendetta against Victor, and that's why she had Angel, be public with it or something like that. And I don't know. I mean, Rachel's been she's been trying really hard, to make people like I Am Shadow 007 and Brittany Ackerman, you know, dislike me, which they're both just like, yeah, no. It's, God, I don't even know like where to start with her. It's, you know, it's, jeez. There's a lot. There really is a lot.
That is understandable. I somehow watched it while I was on my break from work the other night. I mean, last night and Saturday. Oh my god, the bullshit, of Victor saying that what the brony community was doing to him, basically saying him death threats. Now, I need to clarify something right now. It is not okay to send someone death threats. That is not
definitely.
okay. That's not
yeah,
right.
It definitely isn't right.
But that doesn't justify what he did was okay either, and trying to paste what Victor did with Angel was a common mistake. Like, it's no big deal. Like, it's just an innocent roleplay. No, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for saying this to you, saying this in front of Wubcake and everybody in the guest stars. But I'm sorry, you do not say to a 14-year-old girl that you masturbate over her. You don't say that to a girl. That is a red flag to me. Like, that is not a mistake. That is pedophilia, in my opinion. That is straight up pedophilia.
I think another thing that Rachel and some other ones of her buddies keep misunderstanding is it wasn't just roleplay. Like, okay, for just a little bit of backstory, Victor, and I know this kind of is a little bit personal, but I believe he's spoken up about this before. At the time, Victor was going through a divorce with his wife, and they were in a custody battle with their daughter.
Exactly.
And as such, this is keep in mind, you know, everyone knows the divorces. He's married. He's, you know, things didn't work out. Yada yada yada. But the fact that he went on to Google Plus and like literally, I mean, I can't remember how he met Angel. I think it was, I mean, I want to say it was like some project thing, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he literally somehow found Angel, and you know, he was, I mean, I'm guessing he might have been like, I don't know, desperate for some sort of, I don't know, maybe love, or I don't know. But the fact that he went to a 14-year-old girl, knew that she was 14, and started saying stuff like, "Oh, you want my penis, baby?" Oh, you know, stuff like that. That is so. It is sick. And then you can see in the screenshots that she provided that he knows that she's that age, because he literally says, "Oh, well, we can't date yet until you're 18." And then he continues to say, "Oh, do you want, you know, basically NSFW dirty talk to her."
Yeah, basically pornography related shit.
And she was 14, and of course, you know, she was like, if anyone doesn't know, Angel grew up with an abusive mother, and when you're in that sort of zone,
you're vulnerable.
You see someone like,
you're vulnerable.
Oh my god, somebody, a guy likes me. Oh my god, you know. And, you know, of course she was 14. She didn't know any better. You know, you're just going through puberty, you know, and... But he was like, what, 20 something? I can't remember.
So. Hold on. Blazing Blade VA, I don't think that's a wise idea of saying that you want to punch someone in the face. I know that's like a moral thing to, like... I can understand where you're coming from, Blazing Blade, that you want to punch Victor in the face, but that is not okay either. Like, yes, what he did is disgusting and wrong, and he does deserve criminal actions, but that's not okay. Go ahead, Wubcake. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
But, yeah, I think, the problem is, I mean, I don't know the friendship backstory between Rachel and Victor, but from what I know, I'm guessing she was second in charge at the time Victor was in charge of Harmony Studios. Again, estimate... Sorry. I was a part of Harmony Studios, but I was never in any chats. I was never in any meetings or anything like that. I was just, you know, they just kind of came to me and said, "Oh, hey, we need a Twilight voice. You think you can?" You know, I'm like, "Oh, okay." But you know, so I don't know the relationship between those two, like friendship-wise or history. But I mean, I think Rachel, in all honesty, like. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that she's trying to be like, "Oh my God, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to defend a pedophile." I personally think it's her because she's friends with him. I think she's conflicted on what to do. I mean, again, I'm not her. I don't know her in any aspect other than, you know, the stuff she's been trying to say. But, you know, and I can understand wanting to defend your friends, but there comes a point where you have to say, this is wrong.
Exactly.
My friend did something illegal. Like, you can't keep defending somebody, because the thing is that if you defend people who are being pedos or whatever, they're gonna keep doing it.
You're basically encouraging
You're
it.
surrounding them with yes men. You know, like, oh, well, you know, you changed, so whatever. She's saying it as if, like, Victor walked into the kitchen and accidentally knocked over a glass plate. And they're trying to make it sound so simple. Like, oh, well, you know, he did that, like, you know, but it's okay. He's changed now. It's like, no. That's like, the thing is that when somebody commits, you know, something towards minors, it is almost the equivalent of a sexual fetish. Like, that's like telling someone who likes whatever fetish they like, stop doing that.
Exactly.
It's like, but I can't. I get turned, you know, that's how it is with a pedophile. They like kids. Like, and
the thing is,
it's disgusting.
The thing is,
you can't change it and whatever. And the fact that he didn't act like at the time it happened, it's not like this all went down the same year it happened. So there's nothing in his mind that told him, well, I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, but
I need to change. So on that aspect of the sexual role play, he hasn't changed. I mean, maybe the only thing I can see what they mean with he's changed is, oh, maybe he was a little, you know, rude to people back then, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, that aspect of him can change. Yes, and it probably has.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I really don't think so.
Yeah, those are two things that need to happen, Blazing Blade, is that he needs serious therapy. But, like, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a law practitioner in any way, but I do believe that the law can help people that are sexually attracted to kids to be sent into, like, while being in protective custody, they will get mental help as well. Hang on, I need to add one of my friends in here. I think you probably know John Anthony 702.
Think so.
Okay, I'll add him because he said he has something to say about this whole situation now. But as I was saying in the podcast with Gilded Dash's podcast, hello John, welcome. As I was trying to say, Victor was trying to say that he's not a pedophile, that he's not sexually attracted to kids. I beg to differ. I'm sorry.
Well, because the thing that sickens me the most, I think, is kids are taught and they grow up saying that an adult is supposed to be a protector. They're supposed to be someone good. You know,
giving them advice and giving them security.
You're supposed to trust them, and the fact that he took advantage of essentially a child who is already vulnerable because, you know, of her mother, and is just at a vulnerable age, as like at, you know, in general, like it's just
not okay.
Sick.
It pains me too.
She trusted him.
Oh, Gilded Dash. Oh,
Gilded Dash said she want. Sorry, he.
Sure, I'll add him in.
I don't remember who. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead and speak your mind, John. What do you have to say? Go ahead.
First off, I'd like to say that here's the thing. I knew a little bit about Victor, but only because, like, I don't know when I saw him, but I did see him as one of my subscribers. Heck, he even messaged me one time on Hangouts, but
yeah.
I always considered him as he's an okay brony. But then when I found out about this on one of your posts, Wubcake, I noticed that you were saying please pray for Angel, and I'm all like, what's the problem? And I looked into it, and I saw this, and I'm all like, I literally face palmed my head. I'm like, another one.
Yeah.
And
hello, Gilded Dash. Sorry. Go ahead.
And her messages on her Twitter, I will admit, they got me.
It really hurt. It really hurt because that is a child, like, being scared, like, coming out publicly, like, I'm so ashamed. I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I did this. Like, I'm so ashamed. That really pains me.
And I'll say this. I said to Ben this one time.
Go ahead and repeat it, John.
I'm with you on adults. Like, they're supposed to be guiders. They're supposed to be teachers. Heck, they're supposed to be caretakers of children, even if they're like in their teens, like 14.
If I may say,
I mean, heck, when I was little, I was always taught, like my grandma always said, like, oh, if anyone's chasing you, if anyone's like trying to hurt you, run to the nearest house you can find.
yeah.
Ben, were you gonna say something real fast?
Yeah, as I was saying, but like I agree with what Wubcake and you are saying, John. Like, yes, adults like you, me, Wubcake, and John, and everybody in general, every parents, every teachers are supposed to look out for kids to guide, take care of, shape children's minds, and protect them, give them advice. But the fact that taking advantage of a child in an emotional and mental state, that's abusing that power and basically makes you a sick person. Now,
Yeah. I was gonna say though, there are some cases where that can be a mistake that I can understand.
Yeah.
Ben, if it's okay, may I point this out?
Go ahead.
I can understand if, like, let's say, someone like Victor was looking for love. I can understand if
If he's
let's
hurt.
say an over 20-year-old,
Yeah.
I can understand if he's, like, let's say he gets with an 18-year-old, because first off,
Because they're
that's-
legal.
The legal age of
exactly.
consent. Yeah, exactly.
Or, for example, if they get into a little relationship with a 17-year-old, because again, that's kind of young.
In
That's kind
some
of
states,
legal.
yes. In
To-
some states, yes. In some states, yes.
I know in I don't know about his state, but I know in Massachusetts, this is the age of like consent is 16. But I don't know about any other state. I mean, I wouldn't go out dating a 16-year-old.
No, yeah, like me and Ben agreed that.
Yeah.
are weird.
Yeah, but however, yes. Now back to the topic at hand here.
Well, I was
Get to
gonna
the
say
point.
though, like I said, 17 and 18-year-olds I can understand, but literally 11 through 15, that's below the belt. No.
No, that's not okay.
Right.
And Gildadesh, you say you wanted to have a speak in the chats. If you're in the Skype call, please say something.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome, Gildadesh.
Yes.
Greetings.
Actually, I just wanted to, there's a few things that I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
First of all, I completely agree with, the fact that what he did was completely disgusting and wrong.
Yes.
I will not, I'm never going to say that wasn't. I mean, I've had my own issues in my life, and, I sympathize with Angel Love and empathize with her for what she had to go through, but, and I don't defend Victor. Like, I've had as much interaction, well, I've had a little bit more interaction with Victor than I have with Wubcake, but I mean, I've pretty much, the fact is the only thing I know is the things that I've been told, and
Right.
my questions here is that him and his friends have told me that the authorities in his state know that there was a police report or something, and that the judge knows about it, and that they that they haven't decided to take action. I don't know if they're just building a case or if they're not going to do anything, and that he's in therapy, and that's the reason why I gave him a place to speak, because he wanted to put that out there. On that
Right.
note, I feel like I'm not sure what else everybody really wants from him,
Right,
in sense of reparations. But again, like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, if there's other people out there that know that he's done other things of this similar nature, like I said in my podcast, I'm willing to listen, because if he has done anything else, then that needs to be brought out. It needs to be known, because
Exactly.
I mean, if there's a
And-
pattern here, we need to see this pattern. But right now, and I'm not minimizing this, but we only have this one, this one thing, and if we have a pattern, that gives us more to work with.
Right. And sorry, I had to stretch. And like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this whole thing kind of just like
It went
for a
downhill.
while I thought I mean, and I'm not trying to be like, oh well, it shouldn't have. Like that's why I was so surprised when my friend EGS, he's an analyst and an animator in the fandom. He PM'd me and gave me a link to the podcast you had with Rachel and I forget. Well, I know Victor is there, but I don't know if there's anyone else. And I was like, oh great, this is being brought up again. And the minute I heard that Rachel was in, I was like, oh boy, because I mean, I don't know if she told you or if you know, but she's PM'd a VA friend of mine, I am Shadow 007, and she tried. I'd have to ask I am Shadow for the screenshots, but she basically PM'd I am Shadow on DeviantArt, and went through this whole spiel of, oh my gosh, Wubcake has some sort of she probably has some personal vendetta against Victor, and she's trying to like get some sort of revenge or something like that. And I don't know, she said I tried manipulating Brittany Ackerman, because Brittany Ackerman was somebody that I know we haven't mentioned her because I'm not gonna lie, she didn't really want to be mentioned, and I feel bad mentioning her right now. But she was somebody I went to because Brittany was in Harmony Studios and she was a middle ground person. She is somebody that I went to because she's willing to say, I don't know, are you sure this is what's going on? You know, she's one of those people. So she was like one of the first people I went to. And, you know, besides my boyfriend, to talk about it more. And, what was it? Just for a little bit of backstory, at first, Brittany brought Angel into a call with Victor. I don't know if this was mentioned. I can't remember. I'm sorry. So just let me know if I'm like repeating something. She brought Angel into a call with Victor, and because she asked Angel, well, do you think maybe if you talk about it with him, like you might feel better? And Angel said, well, maybe. I mean, I could try. So they did, and basically they were talking about it, and Angel was saying, well, why did you think that was okay, you know, to him and all that stuff. And but the thing that kind of threw me off, because she recorded it and sent it to me, was that every time they'd go into, oh well, why do you think that was okay, like Victor would explain maybe a tiny bit, and then he would go, so Angel, how are you doing? And, you know, the place that you're staying. Like, it would just immediately go to a normal conversation. It wasn't as serious, you know? It was just like, oh, well, the thing is, I felt really, you know, she'd say, I felt really horrible about, you know, da-da-da-da. And he'd be like, yeah, and I'm sorry that happened. So, how's VA work going? And it was a lot like that. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, it feels like he wasn't really, it felt like he really wasn't taking it seriously, you know what I mean?
Nope, he's not taking it seriously. Yeah, I get what you mean. And okay, I'm sorry to bring up this old wound, but in the recent podcast that he was in with For No Good Reason, and along with Gilda and a lot of other people, Leo Convoy did mention, as I was saying, like, if he was truly contrite and he really felt so sorry for his actions, he would have faced the consequences of his actions. You know what I mean? Like, he should have just turned himself into his local precinct to say, like, look, I did something a while back. I was 16 with a 14-year-old. I need to be prosecuted. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law practitioner or whatever, but I think that is a moral thing to do. That's the only way I could be convinced that, okay, maybe Victor did something stupid.
See, that was my point when my first question I asked. To my knowledge, from what I have been told, because I have no evidence, this is what I've been told. The authorities in his city know this already. That this is a known thing.
Yeah, I know.
So I had a feeling that they did, because Leo Convoy, I think that's his name, right?
Leo Convoy Reviews. He was the best. He
came to me and said that he was going to file a report about it.
Yeah, and you know, Victor has said that he informed the authorities himself too. But my question is, if the authorities won't do anything, what does a person do at that point? I mean,
well, I mean, to be honest, like, we didn't want, like, oh my gosh, let's post this. Oh my gosh, let's, you know, have everyone
No.
raid him or something. We wanted people to know about it. We wanted
We want to keep
people
children
to
safe.
be aware.
Like, keep their
Yeah.
distance.
I get
Go ahead.
that, and
Yeah.
I was, and when I first, you know, I confronted you guys at the initial tweet when we had our little argument. It wasn't that I was really trying to question the validity of the claim or even defend Victor. It was more of,
You're
there
trying
was-
to get an understanding.
there was one side saying one thing, and I was just trying to see, you know, because Victor, you know, spoke to me a little bit after my tweets, and I was like, hey, do you have the logs so I can look at them? And he's like, no, they're deleted. And it's just like, so I was just like,
Oh,
I just wanted to see what else there was, to see what context there was to this, because, you know, there was just, you know, Angel said she had more, so I asked her if you know, I was trying to kind of ask if I could see the other things just to make up my own
like
mind.
see the full
Yes.
documentation of Victor and
The full like
Angel.
chat log
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had more context to go with everything, so I could make up my full mind on this, you know, because I really, you know, I'm one of those people that just really likes to, you know, see a full picture before I make a conclusion on something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like and yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, like, I think why there wasn't like the whole entire, you know, chat log was because that was really the main thing. It was just this sort of, I guess you can say, lovey-dovey puppy dog talk, along with, of course, sexual things. But that's basically what it was.
In all fairness and honesty, I like to call Angel a very brave one for sharing that. I can only imagine how it must have hurt her, like, showing that. Because
she must have feel ashamed and embarrassed. That's what every victims, when it comes to pedophiles, victims that want to come out, they're possibly scared, humiliated, and embarrassed.
Yeah.
Now, Angel, I'm not sure if she's listening to this podcast, but
no, I don't think so. And
it's all right.
Honestly, I didn't tell her about the original, you know, podcast that you had gilded, because she's currently still going through some stuff.
No,
you know,
it's okay. Let's not pressure her.
And I really didn't want to like.
We do not
like,
pressure her. I'm
hey,
not gonna
so
pressure
someone
her.
brought up Victor again. You know.
We're not.
I'm glad she
up.
didn't. You know, I didn't. It was never intended for, you know, to come out and for her to, you know, have old wounds opened up. That was not what it was intended for.
Right.
It was an intention to let them, you know, because they said that they, you know, Victor said that he let the authorities know, said he was in therapy, and, you know, that's why I asked him that I asked him those very questions in the podcast, you know, so that he could, you know, he could say it with his own words, so, you know, and then, you know, I kind of opened the floor to them. I was really hoping some other people with, you know, on the other side would have come in and asked a few questions, so there was more questions from the chat, but that never happened. So
yeah,
you know,
I did more of like Rachel's friends, honestly. So it was kind of one-sided thing.
Yeah, so we kind of just got the, you know, their side of the story, and you know, like I said, I mean, I'm willing to speak up. I'm willing to speak about that podcast or anything. Any my involvement anyway.
Okay, that I do. I am actually gonna ask you this question. Why would Rachel say that Victor didn't deserve anything that he had to go through? Not the death threats. I'm talking about being exposed for sexually role playing with Angel Love. And I'm sorry about the dogs barking again.
Well, the only thing the thing here is, I mean, all right, I don't know. I can't say exactly what the reasons were because I'm not in the man's head. I'm not his therapist. I don't, you know, speak to him. But I do know that he, you know, did have, you know, there were some issues with him because of, you know, what had happened. He had his own issues that affected him.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's like if you watch your life fall apart, that does kind of, you know, that affects a person in a way. I mean, whether he deserves it or not is up to me. That's up to everybody to decide on their own. But that's, you know, it does affect somebody when you watch your life fall apart.
And something that I wanted to talk about, which I haven't actually been able to talk about because I don't know. I just
go ahead.
I guess for a while I just felt like it wasn't really important. Was like Victor and I had a really nice friendship. Like we didn't talk like a lot, But when we did, it was always nice. There was never any arguments or anything bad. You know, it was just, you know, casual. Oh, how you doing? You know, how's life? How's, you know, work on this, work on that. You know, oh, nice to talk to you. I mean, we hung out at BronyCon this year.
I remember that.
And that was really, really nice. I mean, that was the first time I did a drinking game, too.
I've heard of that. I mean, I have heard of that.
That was a lot of fun to be there, and you know, with Brittany and Toucan and LDM and all those other people, and it was great. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I felt fucking, sorry for the language, shattered.
It's all right. I'm at a minimum swearing. Go ahead.
When Angel came out to me about this, like, I was like, wait, Victor, like our Victor, and she's like, yeah. Because I knew that she knew him longer than I did. But I was just, I don't know. I didn't know what.
You were just shocked, pretty much.
I was shocked, but I'm at that point where I'm just, I guess it's just, I've been hurt by so many people in this fandom that I'm just like, you know what? I don't know.
You honestly don't know what to do. There needs to be something said.
I don't want other people to get hurt, you know. So at first, I guess you can say my emotions kind of numb.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, you know, but it's like, I don't know, because again, Victor and I were really nice friends, you know? We had a lot of fun when we did talk, you know, which was every once in a while, but that was fine, you know? And it's just, it does hurt. It does really, really hurt that there's this kind of, I guess you can say, well, I don't know if you call it a mini war, but, you know, this sort of thing going on. I mean, and that Rachel's trying to paint me as, oh my god, she's trying to do this negative thing and that negative thing and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, do you even know that he and I were actually really good friends? Like, yeah. I don't think she has any idea.
No.
You know, I think she probably thought, oh, she just kind of, you know, knew him a little bit and whatever in passing. But, I mean, it hurt because I had my own personal feelings as like, because like at first I thought, well, this did happen 4 years ago, but I was like, but then again, it happened. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and it sucks because
it does suck. It's not fair.
This was somebody that I really enjoyed talking to and enjoyed being around.
It's okay, if I may, I'm sorry to bring up this very, very old wound, but I think this is kind of similar to the Toon Critic situation about how everybody in that domain found out that Zack committed this crime of sexting with a 14-year-old girl from the Philippines. Like, they felt the same way. They're like, oh my god, this is someone that was our friend for years. Like, I can't believe...
It does hurt. It really does.
It felt like it's pretty much like that, yeah. I don't have that experience, and I'm really hoping to God I never do. But if I ever did find out that someone that I knew or look up to committed these crimes, you could be damn well, not only would I report them to the police, but I will cut all ties with them right then and there.
Yeah, and unfortunately I had to cut all my ties with Victor because I can't.
You have to.
Like, I was like, I don't really care that it happened 4 years ago or whatever. It happened, and Angel is my best friend. And she's somebody I've helped. I was one of the people that helped her get out of her abusive mom's house. Like, her, I, and North were always in calls, like, trying to help her, you know, when she was going through a lot of emotional abuse with her mother. And, you know, we're still trying to help her and everything. And
basically, yeah.
It's just, I hate seeing my friends get hurt, and the fact that somebody I trusted, you know,
that someone that you kind of considered as an acquaintance would do something this fucked up.
Well, I mean, the thing is like, he and I weren't really acquaintances. We were legit friends. Like, we weren't best friends. Again, we didn't talk every day. But it was that nice friend you have that, you know, you don't really talk much, but you're like, oh, hi, oh my gosh, you know, it's nice to talk to you again, you know.
Yeah, I got what you mean. I got what you mean by that. Yeah.
But.
Oh, Blazing.
And it's been very, very stressful. Like, I mean, I'm sorry I keep calling Rachel out, but she's been the main person who keeps trying to drag on and paint me as like a, you know, oh my god, she's trying to start everything, or oh, it's such a bad person, or something like that. And I'm like, Well, I mean, you haven't even reached out to talk to me, so I don't.
We could keep
You
this.
know.
We could keep this podcast going, and if
I-
she's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Actually, hold on real quick about that. After the podcast, they're still talking to me, and they have actually expressed interest in speaking with you.
Well,
with a
are they
neutral
able to come into this
mediator.
podcast? Are they able to come in this podcast?
I can see. I don't know if they're around at the moment. I can see.
Well,
I can
let them
reach out.
try to reach out, because I'll keep this podcast long going if I have to, because I want to hear hers and Benny's defense on the podcast. And okay, thank you for mentioning that, Blazing Blade VA. Some of Victor's friends did the hashtag our past is not today. Okay,
I'm gonna real quick about that. That was Rachel that started that, by the way.
Okay,
Just so
yeah,
that's
yes,
understood, that was Rachel.
I know, but I need to say this right now. We are not using quotes from any cartoon shows or TV movies or blah blah blah. We're not using the past is the past, or our past is not today, or you learn from it bullshit. This is the real world. There needs to be consequences with your actions. You can't justify what someone recently did, both then and now, as like, oh, it's just a common mistake. Let me clarify a lot of you what a mistake is. A mistake is, for example, you say something inappropriate, saying to something that's disturbing, that makes someone uncomfortable, hurting someone's feelings, that even though you never intend to hurt someone's feelings, or call someone the wrong gender nowadays, like assuming someone's gender, transgender, yeah.
British Ninja also made that point.
Yeah, but what Victor did is not a mistake.
It was a conscious action. That's what it
Exactly.
was.
And the fact that really sickened me with the fact of saying, I'm even going to say this right now, is it a mistake that he said, and I quote, as I said earlier, that he masturbated over a 14-year-old? I don't care if that's role-playing. That's a crime. That's considered, to me, pedophilic actions. That's not a mistake.
I'm not gonna lie, there was something else, but we didn't bring it up because there was no photographic evidence.
Yeah, there is no
You know what I
photographic.
mean?
We're not
We don't
going
bring
to
up
put that out.
anything that doesn't have evidence. That's what we told Angel when, she said, well, I think I'm going to make this public. Should I mention this? And I said, well, is it a picture or something? Just for backstory, it's a he showed her his you-know-what. And we said, well, is there a picture of it? We blur it. And she said, no, I don't have a picture. It was in a video call. And I said, well, we can't, I'm sorry. We can't mention it. We can't show anything like that because there's nothing to show. There's no proof of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and yeah.
So so it would seem like it would just be like, someone just saying it,
Exactly. Northbridge, yes, that is true. He committed a crime. Pure and simple.
North did mention that he wanted to join the discussion.
What's his Skype profile if he's willing to do so?
He said he's got to install Skype first, like I did too.
It's okay. Northbridge, is that correct? Is that him? Like, I need to know in the chats. Northbridge, is that your name on the Skype? Northbridge, Skype, come on, cooperate, darn it. I do not do well with Skype, everybody.
I'm not used to it either.
If I may,
Go ahead.
I'm kind of with you on like a certain relation to that Wubcake, because when it came to the Toon Critic situation, when everybody found out about his 14-year-old like darn crime, I felt like I lost a legend.
Yeah.
And I literally was all like, to think I wanted to meet him and be like him. And like here's the thing, I believe that there's good in everyone, and the first step, if they did that, was to turn themselves in. But the thing is that why is it that even if they say that they admit they're wrong, they just literally listen to their fear and run? And to me, like, it makes me question what's happening to this world,
The world ain't sunshine and rainbows, John. I'm being dead honest with you.
No, I agree with you. It isn't. And
And
it's just I'm just gonna say it's just it hurt.
Oh, okay.
It hurts heads. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, hang on. Blazing Blade VA, wishing someone to burn in hell, that's not okay either. I understand how angry you are. It's alright to be angry, but again, it's not okay for wishing any ill will to anybody. Especially, I just don't...
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, with Blazing, don't even try.
Yes.
He's not gonna listen to you, he doesn't listen to me, so...
Yeah, exactly. It's alright. It is greens. Greens will add you.
Really, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If that's Blazing's opinion, he's really entitled to it. I mean, it's not like it's unjustified.
I don't believe
it doesn't mean that we believe it either, so...
Yeah.
Yes, it's just, that's his opinion, and he's allowed to. The only thing I pointed out in my podcast was the fact that death threats can, those are things that you don't want to do, because...
yeah, because what if someone actually does it?
Or just the fact
that's gonna be...
Or just for the fact that most social media will, shut down your account over death threats.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And depending on what country you live in, they may come knock on your door and arrest you for it. So, I mean, it's better not to put yourself in a situation like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't believe in revenge.
No, look, now before I have been having this lovely messages from defenders of he who should not be named here because I know they're gonna spam.
Voldemort?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I made a joke and said Voldemort.
It's okay. I was talking about, shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, it rhymes with Dusty. Hint.
Oh, you're talking about, Dusky Novel.
Yeah, his SGWs. We're not talking about him. We're not talking about him, but here's the thing. For those who try to defend someone saying that they're the good guys, they're not bad, you don't know anything, you're making defamation of character, yeah, please think really hard before you jump into conclusions, Alright, I'm trying to get
Are you talking about how, like, on that other podcast, how that Darkness guy, like, his friend was, like, Dusky Novel or something? He was trying to, like, defend him.
Darkness,
Darkness,
Yeah, basically.
I was like, I was so confused because I didn't even know what the guy was going on about because he didn't name his friend. He's like, oh, my friend, this, and I'm like, just sitting here reading it, like, what is this guy even talking about? I'm so confused. And then my boyfriend's like, he just mentioned Dusky Novel. He's a friend of his. I'm like, oh, okay, that explains it.
When the situation came up, honestly, Ben, because I found it from your channel, I didn't know the details, but considering what you said, what he did, I just based it off on that.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to add Northbridge into the Skype call, but Skype is not working. I really miss the old version where you could just drag.
It's very weird. Boom. Yeah, or you could just click and drag someone. But did they remove that?
Yeah, did they? Because I'm trying to drag.
Oh my god, I was gonna say if they did, in a sense, that's kind of good. Because I remember when people would accidentally add someone into a call, the person was like, "What the heck? Where am I?"
Oh, here we go.
I think they did. It's just nothing but code and typing now.
I think I added him in. If he's in here, let him know. Alright, let me know if he can. Miss Northbridge, is that you?
Did you call him a miss? Hi, hon.
Northbridge.
Hey, baby.
Aww. Sorry, didn't mean to tease. But you want to have say about this?
The main thing that I'm sort of taking from this, that was the real cause of, is the right word anger? We'll go with anger. The main source of anger that was the problem, that when it was revealed that podcast went on. Also, who's in the call? It's not telling me who's in the call.
No, Victor's not in the call. Just Gilded Dash.
No, he said who's in the call.
Who was in the call?
Yeah, he's saying who.
Draconius is that's my
live.
Yes. That's Gilded Dash. Draconius is just my Skype name.
Oh, it's you.
Yes.
That came off as a little sinister. Okay, so basically, when this whole situation started, me and Wubs told Angel to do what she thought was best. And she did. She did what she decided to do. I want to point that out now because there's been rumors going around that myself or Wubs forced Angel into releasing stuff. So I just want to lay that out flat now. And it happened. The fandom reacted as we expected. It said he was wrong. He said he'd done something wrong. When Victor released his video on the subject, that was also proven because the amount of dislikes there was ridiculous. And people were saying, look, you've committed a crime. You need to pay for that.
Exactly.
And that's what my sort of problem is with what was on Gilderdash's podcast. Watched the whole thing from start to finish at least twice by now. And when I was watching it, I agree that Gilda was clearly trying to just give a platform for people to say their piece. Fair. Fill your boots. I'm not against that. But here's my problem. There seems to be this sort of... what's the word? Blanketing that this fandom is guilty for. Now, I'm not saying this in general. There are some people who just don't. But this fandom does have a problem with it. And what they do is when something happens, they quote the show itself. You know, my past is not today. Look at Starlight. You know, trying to be realistic. Trying to
let's be real. Let's not talk about cartoons and anything like that. We need to be real here. This is the real world. It's not sunshine and rainbows. I get what you mean. Go on.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
When Discord is naughty, of course you can forgive him. He's being silly and stupid. When someone is rude, of course you can forgive them. They're being rude. You know, you talk it down or anything like that. I bet you if Discord was to be sending letters to Scootaloo of a sexual nature, I don't think Twilight or Pinkie Pie would be throwing him a party.
No.
Now,
no, they won't.
The thing that I get really angry about is the hashtag My Past Is Not Today. Just a little background to anyone who knows this. My Past Is Not Today was a hashtag that a few people who forgave Victor used to sort of spread their reasoning. You know, you don't judge by the past. Which I get, you don't judge by the past. But here's the thing, you don't judge someone on the past of their mistakes that they have paid, worked towards. Or, you know, they've done, something has occurred that is clearly, a thief has been arrested and he served a month in jail. Like, that is something you can move on. Or, you know, he's had mental health systems that have helped him. You know, things like that. That is something that I'm willing to... I still may not forgive you. That's just an opinion. But that is something that you need to do to be able to take that next step forward. Here's my anger. Victor was revealed to have done this with a 14-year-old girl. And people forgave him. Now, why? Well, he himself said, I've changed. I'm different. I'm not that person. Okay. I have evidence that you did it. You can't give me evidence that you've changed. So when you weigh up those, I'm obviously not going to take your word for it. You don't take a murderer's... Look, I didn't kill him. Okay, then I don't believe he killed him. He could be covered in blood. You still know he's the bad guy. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. He's trying to say, forgive me, when we have nothing to go on but his word. He constantly... And this isn't just him. This is also Rachel and a couple of other staunch defenders. If he had been... He'll never be welcome back to this fandom. I'm just going to point that out because no one likes someone who has committed an act like this. Toon Critic will never come back. If anyone else is revealed to be like this, they'll never come back. Dusky has never been managed to build himself up. He's completely crippled now.
He's done.
Because he's been revealed. Well, he's not gone. He's still around, but he's crippled.
I know he is. I know he is.
I think it'd be fair to say he's crippled.
I could vouch for that about the Dusky novel topic. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I could have vouched for that because he's trying really hard not to do anything because he knew he screwed up. He has a bad reputation for being known as a liar. Someone who used to be associated with him actually confirmed this. I could show evidence to you and everybody else in the Skype call privately about what Dusky Knucklehead did in the past by impersonating voice actresses, narrators, etc. But we're not talking about Dusky.
I'm saying it too. Yeah. No, we're not here to talk about Dusky. I was just using him as an example.
No, I know that. We're talking about what Victor did.
Now, what Victor did was a crime. Now, here's how I know. I was doing a recording session with my friend. I'm not going to say names because I don't want this fan to leak onto him because he's not in this fan completely. He's completely... I brought him a hypothetical situation. So I basically laid out the Victor situation without naming names or people and just brand, fresh, raw initial reaction. His very first thought was, he's a pedo and should be in jail. So just straight up, a random person with no knowledge, no links, no anything, his first thought was, that is a criminal action. And if you out there, anyone who's listening or will watch this, if you forgive Victor,
they are watching this podcast. This podcast is live.
I meant repeats.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm talking to both the livers and the people who will come after.
Mm-hmm.
If you forgive him, if you to literally go, I do think this was you, then I can't do anything against you. You have your opinion, you have your view. I can't fight you on that. What I will say to this though is the people out there who comment that he has changed and we're wrong, to the people who constantly say there was that, as people have, Wubcake was very vicious, or North said this mean thing to me. You are commenting on the life of a girl who we have known for several years, who we consider our best friend. You try to belittle what happened to her. You try and defend a man who committed a crime. That is my actual biggest problem. Isn't with Victor anymore. What he did was wrong, and he should face justice for that. But he's not going to turn himself in, unfortunately. So I can't do anything there. But to the people who actively badmouth other people trying to defend him, which Rachel has done, I will name drop her. I'm sorry, I just will. Which Rachel did. She even tried to send it, which Gilderdash did show on his live stream. Not a pop, just letting you know. That Wubcake was very forward with her dislike towards someone. And why? Now, here's the thing. No one ever questioned what... Because the man himself said, oh, Victor didn't ruin her life. Who the fuck does he think he is to make that statement on a person who has literally gone through something he'll never understand? What we have to do is ask Angel what she went through and felt, and what she has said repeatedly is exactly what we all have thought. That he did something wrong, that he needs to face justice, and he did commit a pedophilic act. Mm-hmm. You can't ERP with someone who is 14 and expect not to pay consequences. That's pedophilia. Now, of course, you can make the argument of, well, he never did anything. There was no actual physical contact.
Person,
yeah, I was going to say, I bet you that's how he wants to defend himself.
Exactly.
But that means it's something else. It's grooming.
Yeah, it's basically what he's doing, his grooming, and that is a felony.
He repeats several times that when they do meet, they're going to have sex. When they do meet, they're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. He even does the stereotypical thing of literally telling Angel, don't tell anyone about our relationship. He's literally doing a checklist of actions that people who are in these circumstances, the ones who are clearly in the wrong, are doing. Now, I'm going to be transparent here. Angel knew he was older. That's no denying it. And Angel kept doing it because she was a young and dumb, impressionable girl. We've all had that stage.
That's no excuse for him at all.
That is not an excuse for him.
Just let some people will try to. That's why I'm trying to undermine it now.
Yeah, we've legit had people
was a middle in his 20s man who, for whatever fucking reason he'd like to pull out of his ass, bad relationship, dark moment, don't give a shit, was an adult, knew it was wrong. This isn't like you weren't taught how to pay your taxes, so you missed a payment and you're in the shtick. This is something we are raised from birth, every single one of us, from birth, to not support, and is wrong. In no medium, in no cultures is pedophilia okay, I'll take that back. In no media, in most civilized cultures, it is not allowed. It's not correct. I dated my senses because there are some cultures in less civilized areas that do still, pass off 13-year-old brides, but we're not going to get into that.
No, we're not getting into that rabbit hole.
Well, Brittany Ackerman just messaged me.
But the source problem is that the people who supported Victor for committing a criminal act are trying to do whatever they can in their power to sort of undermine it and keep this debate going. When there shouldn't even be a debate. I don't mean to be rude. I'm glad you had me on, but really, I should not be sitting here having to tell your audience this. I should not have to be sitting here telling people that this man is a bad person. We shouldn't be in this situation in the first place.
No,
because people like Rachel are dragging this on. and trying to. The worst part is when I watch Gilda Dash's stream, from start to finish, the idea was Victor's own words. Gilda can back me on this. His own words were, he's been quiet for 2 months because he wanted to let the heat die down, the bluster die down, so he can talk his side out, be consistent with calm people. Isn't that right, Gilda?
Yes. That
Thank you.
was what was said, yes.
Thank you. Okay, fair enough. So when I watched it, I was expecting new information, new facts, new details, but it was the same stuff he repeated in his 7-minute video, which was torn to shit. So instantly, there's nothing new added. That's my biggest annoyance. There's nothing new added to this. And then his friends...
Can I interrupt you for 1 minute?
Oh, sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
But like I pointed out earlier, I don't think you had gotten in yet. The reason I had kind of did this was because of the fact that they had, it had been told to me that he had mentioned what he had done to the authorities, that they hadn't done anything, and that he was seeing a therapist. That's like the only, I guess you can say that's really the only new information that came out in that. I don't have any. Well, I was just about to say, I don't have any documentation. I can't show you any screenshots or proof. I just have his word for it. So.
Okay, that's fair, but you also have to understand the counter of, we can't take a man who has committed a crime by his word, because he's already lied. Even in some capacity, he's already lied about it because he did it in the first place. He's already committed a felony. He's already proven he's willing to break a law. So why would we trust that he was willing to keep his word? You see what I'm trying to say?
No.
So there is no
I
documented, evidential, new evidence or methods or anything like that. There's nothing new that is documented.
I get what you're saying, 100%. The only thing, the only thing I was getting at is that, I did it so he could say what he wanted to say, and that he could, people could make up their mind as they wanted. He got hit what he felt he needed to say. He said, he had turned himself in. He had, or told the authorities, and he had got therapy, and now people can, do with that information as they please. I was just trying to be as a neutral platform for him to, put that information out there. I wasn't trying to say anybody was right or wrong, or that there was facts, or that was fiction. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind.
Okay, that's fair, and I get devil advocate. Some people do have to play that sometimes. But when you play devil advocate, it's normally because brand new, something has occurred. We need to prove this now, and we can prove it. So all I'm saying is, from just a human standpoint, I feel like the sad fact is Rachel and Victor had that big moment to really not say anything new that they can prove, of course. And what I also don't like is how that live stream. Now, this isn't a knock at you, of course, Gilda. I just want you to know nothing is directed at you here as like an insult.
Same here in my podcast.
No, I understand. I came in mainly to speak on my behalf. I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm just speaking on my behalf and the reasons why I did it and my own opinions and thoughts.
Okay, brilliant. That's good. That's how it should be. You shouldn't be, someone else's lawyer.
I'm with you on a personal thing. Like, the fact that he lied, and the fact that people try to defend someone who literally, did that action with someone who's literally under 17 years old, it's inexcusable. And
it's not okay.
I can understand if it was say a racist or even an offensive message, that could be worth forgiving. But an action that they know that they did wrong, it's not gonna pass.
Yep.
Exactly.
Whether it be text or not.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to get the screenshots again, I have every single one of them, so I can be I'm not saying anything. I'm literally just showing you what's there, because that's also it too. We came with just proof. It wasn't opinions or rumor or through the mill. It was his evidence this happened. Like Wub said earlier when I was listening in, the stuff that we also knew that we didn't share, like the exposure that Victor did towards Angel. We didn't test. It wasn't put into those initial tweets because no one had proof of it. So we were just
Right.
showing what we had physical proof of.
Mm-hmm.
So when these people say they forgive him, that's fine. Forgive him. You know, if you can really look into your heart and forgive him, fill your boots. But to people who try and pass it off as this thing that we should all just look past, which I don't care what Rachel says, that's what the hashtag my past is not to take became.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you forgive someone, you have to acknowledge what they did. Now, they can say till the cows come home that we know what Victor did. Okay, you know what Victor did, then why are you so blasé saying we can look past this when it was a legit crime? Now, there's also this other level that I think I have stated in the past, but I don't think I've said publicly, that when this fandom, no matter how much bronies love to think we're the main source of this show is for kids.
It's
Little
for
girls.
kids. Yeah, let's be
Yeah, I,
honest.
Now,
I
bronies-
even pointed that out myself.
Yeah, and this is a fandom full, not the most vocal, I'll admit, but there are a lot of kids in this. Ask
really are.
Serendipity, Maddie Moswell, ask a cosplayer who they see a lot at cons. They see kids who come up to them and say, I love you as Pink, all that good stuff. Now, Victor, not anymore because he was rightly so told to piss off essentially by Harmony Con. He could have gone to a convention full of children. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go diddling, but
No.
you have to ask the very real question of if this man is doing this with Angel, can he be trusted around children? And my honest opinion is no.
No.
When he can't give any real proof, again, he can say what he said on your streams, Gilda, but he can't give any written photographic proof that he is taking steps to either get help, incarcerate himself, anything. But we have proof that he did do this act, but he can't prove that he is getting better. For all we know, he did the video to try and save his own ass, said he forgave Angel, which was just disgusting.
Okay, I need to have a say about that topic. I'm sorry to interrupt you, North, but I need to say that real quick. The fact that he said that he forgave Angel for making it public, that really pissed me off.
That was such a
It really
dumb
upset
thing
a
to
lot
say.
of people, honestly.
Yeah, that wasn't. You don't forgive the victim.
No.
I've as much.
That just shows, you know.
In the time that I've spoken to him, because setting up this podcast, I told him, I don't know why you said that. That was not. You don't forgive the victim. The victim forgives you if they ever want to.
Let me guess.
That's
He
up
said,
to them.
"Oh, I don't know why I said that either," or something similar to that.
I don't remember. I didn't put much stock into
I
the
believe
words
I
that
have
said
said-
after I said that.
I believe I've said something about that in his conversion video about that. La 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 la. You just
There's actually something I'd like to add about that.
Go ahead.
It's another defense that people like to make about the whole she went public thing is two things, and I'm going to address both of them now. The first one is the simple one is, what about, and as we've already mentioned, stuff like death threats and all that crap. No matter what you do online, you will always have the mob mentality of fuck you. Now, what I'm trying to say by that is you can post a picture of 20 horses running in a field, it's beautiful, but because there's a cage, there's a sign of a fence in the background, you'll get one comment that says, you've caged the animals, how could you? Now, no matter what you do, there will always be a negative side to things. Now, it went public not because Angel wanted mob mentality, not because Angel wanted death threats sent to Victor, not because Angel wanted any of this. It was made public because Angel had a call with a third party who I won't mention just in case they don't want to be named.
Already did.
And
Sorry.
They already did?
I already did. Yeah, I already did. I already mentioned it was Brittany.
okay, well, Brittany was in a call, set this up because she was a mutual beneficiary to both. I don't know what she's doing now about this, but whatever. Set up this call for them two to talk. And Angel confronted, I can say this because I've heard the call. And it was brought to the attention of Victor what he did. Angel confronted him. And whatever happened in that call, I'm not going to go into details because, you know, I'm not trying to delay anything because we've already been going for an hour. It wasn't an appropriate apology for what Victor had done to Angel. So Angel decided that the greater public, in this case the fandom, had the right, that's also it too, they have the right to know when someone who committed a crime, whatever the crime, is in their midst, especially one that connects so deeply to children and underage minors, which this fandom is full of.
Yep.
So that's number one. Number two is, sorry, my throat just went. Number two is no one, including Angel, wanted mob justice. I hear this term get thrown around a lot, even to someone who I won't name, sort of wasn't comfortable with what happened. They use the term mob justice. Now, if anyone knows what that means, mob justice is civilians taking justice into their own hands. Nothing of that was ever intended. It was just an awareness. That was proven by the fact that Angel then got in touch with authorities and did it the proper way too. What she did was pure awareness. There was no, which Rachel has said again, there was no, Rachel literally spread lies about this towards Wubcake, about trying to make her look bad because she said that she made Angel do this out of revenge and all this.
I call that bullshit. Sorry about that.
Of course it's bullshit. When you belittle someone's defense, when you belittle a victim's supporters because your hashtag is being torn apart by everyone in the fandom who is horse famous. I hate that term, but I'm using that just to make it simple. Many horse famous people who found out about the Angel thing also saw the hashtag and they all called it out as bullshit.
Exactly.
The hashtag was, I don't care what the intent was. What you did was give what looked like pedophilia an escape route. Now, Rachel, if you ever see this one day and you want to talk to me face to face, my Discord is #3251, come find me. I'm not hiding. Come talk to me about it, and I will tell you why you fucked up into your face. But I digress. You gave pedophilia an out. Everyone called you out on it. You even commented saying thank you for your support to people who called you out on it because you didn't understand.
Exactly, and that goes...
And all this... one moment, I'm in the swing.
Go ahead.
And all of this was, whether intentional or not, a knife stab into Angel's soul.
Mm-hmm.
When you defend someone who committed a felony towards someone, that's the equivalent of Lord stabbing Dash, and then I could to come up to Dash and go, well, you probably ran into the knife. If this was any other crime, in any other way, he'd probably be in jail right now.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Because it's just something you can push, sorry Wubs, but just because it's something you could push under the rug does not give you the right to try and belittle other people who support it. If Victor had punched her, he'd be in jail and just discarded by everyone. If Victor had killed, raped, stolen, everyone would have turned against him. But because it's something that you can undermine by trying to exactly, you can sweep under the rug because it's just screenshots of him being he committed a crime. The fact that he is a father shows that he should have known better. He's a father, by the way. He has a daughter, and I don't care that he was going through situations. Okay, he was going through custody battles. Well, if that's the case, then if he's going through a custody battle, I don't care that this came out inappropriate time. You shouldn't have done it in the fucking first place. Then that daughter should be taken away from both the father and the mother if there is a situation, put with other family members or drastically care, because you don't deserve custody of your daughter when you are sexting underage minors with the intent, as you ripped, with the intent of meeting them and fucking them. That's wrong. And he should pay for that, but he hasn't. And his supporters, like Rachel, are trying to say, my past is not today, in a cheap attempt to just forgive and forget. And I don't mean to be rude, but this is the real fucking world. Pastel-coloured ponies can't apply to everything. They've never even touched on anything this severe. The only thing they've touched on that was mildly severe was trying to steal everything. And guess what? The bitch is in Tartarus now. You can't use these things as an example, because technically Starlight didn't really cause any damage because it was all undone. But
yeah, go ahead.
That's the big one people like to bring up. But the recent one in series now, I can't remember her name, I just know her as the smiling bitch, committed a crime and was sent to prison. So even your own argument of using the show is undermined because someone committed a lesser offense and got nicked for it. So it's bullshit when you keep using this show to defend your forgiveness of pedophilia and sweeping it under the rug. If you acknowledge he was a prick and still forgive him, but you want no contact with him, filthy boots, I can't stop you there. That's reasonable and normal. It's the people who try and belittle people who were against him, like Rachel did to Wubs, try to undermine it. Even Victor did too. So like, I've got screenshots I can show. It's like, so fucking what? You committed a crime. If Wubs used a few harsh language, boo fucking who? Don't have such a hard time with it. You committed a crime, dickhead.
Exactly. Like, The thing is that, like, people are trying to paste the, like, say a cartoon show from the quote from, like, some individual that used a quote from The Lion King for Victor's mistake. And I really love Leo's reply of, it's amazing how you use the quote of a children's cartoon character to excuse the actions of a pedophile. That makes you not only an idiot, but it tries to make it seem like you're saying that it's okay, that it's just a mistake. But everything that Northbridge said, thank you. This is so 110% right by me. Everything that Northbridge said is right by me. So I applaud you, dude, for saying that, because it's the truth. Everything that he said is the truth.
Because someone's had to say it. This whole fandom has a fundamental issue of not wanting to say things in case you upset people. Now, I get it. Sometimes that makes sense. Sometimes it makes sense. If you don't want to bring up, I don't know, fucking someone said a bad word at a convention to me. Well, of course you don't want to bring that up. You don't want to start unnecessary shit. But the people that were literally calling this drama, and drama means, you know, something silly over the top, like I just said, he called me a shithead, and then it blows up. This isn't drama. This is a fucking felony. Grow up, man up, and accept that someone has committed a crime. I don't care if this offends you, because that's what this person did. Rachel, if you're hearing this, you are trying to defend a man who committed a crime. You would go through hell itself if someone of your family went through the same thing that Victor put them through. I don't care what you say, that Angel's life isn't ruined. You didn't sit in calls hearing her cry about this. This did affect her. This did ruin her in a sense, and she's already got fucking enough ruining her at this stage. She doesn't need people like you literally saying, and people in the comments of Victor's video who also said it, that her life wasn't ruined, when you have zero grounds, zero fortification for that statement. It is disgusting, and while not criminally as bad as Victor, morally you're just as bad in my opinion, because you're belittling someone who has come out to try and defend their own innocence against a criminal.
I'm sick of people belittling people who come out.
Not to mention, Angel's already someone who has problems even, like, she still even has problems coming to us saying, I'm sad, or I'm not feeling too good, or something happened. She has troubles doing that. And the fact that people, again, I'm sorry, no, you have every right to be upset, and that upsets me too. And I'm gonna say this really clear right now to everybody that said her life is not ruined. You don't know what the victims are going through, both emotionally and mentally. You don't know what pedophiles would do to children. If I told you, okay, I'm not sure if any of you ever watched this guy named Justin Payne, but I applaud this dude for exposing pedophiles left and right. But this dude even pointed out to a pedophile that he has messages of many victims that tried to come out publicly that what their attackers did to them, and yet they get, as they were pointing out, your life is not ruined, it's no big deal. Some of them almost committed suicide, or some even have thoughts of committing suicide. Now, am I saying that Angel Heart should have those feelings? Absolutely not. Angel Love. Sorry.
It's okay.
Angel Love.
Thank you for correcting me.
Angel Heart.
Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting me, Miss Webb. Why am I having a stupid toy phone? Get out of there. Anyways, oh yes, that's not okay. It's not okay for you to tell the victim it's their fault. You basically don't know what they're going through. And Angel Love, thank you. I'm sorry again.
It's okay. It's okay.
Angel, I'm just gonna call it Angel. Angel, you did the right thing. You did the right thing of coming out publicly. I know it was not easy. And just know that you have friends and family here that will help you. As I mentioned this on Twitter, I don't know you that much, but I will help in any way I can. But I'm speaking this as well to any other victims out there, that it's okay to come out. It's okay. Yes, I know you could be scared and terrified, but it is okay to come out. It's okay to let people know what's going on. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed by it. I understand that you're terrified, but you need to come out. Please correct me if I'm wrong, everybody in this group. Like, what are your thoughts?
There's one thing I'd just like to quickly add to his. Well, everything he said is just brilliant. If you, as an individual, do anything that he's just said, talk down, undermine, say this is somehow your fault, you are as morally repugnant as the man who committed the felony is.
Exactly.
It's that simple. You're not on a high horse. You're not playing devil's advocate. Playing devil's advocate is letting them say their piece. You don't then listen to someone and then go to the victim and go, well, that's obviously the facts. That's not biased. That's not non-biased views or making sure that people are correct. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are people out there who disgustingly try to use this to their advantage. They're cunts. But at the end of the day, if someone comes out that they've been affected by someone doing these things to them, we as human beings have a moral obligation to treat that deadly serious.
Exactly. And
until either he's in jail or it's proven that he didn't do it. And in this case, he did do it, because I am literally, as I speak to you right now, looking at them. I am reading all about how he says he's going to be with her, how you should hide it, and all the sex things, and how he masturbated to her and all this. You don't just turn into doing crimes that you were brought up told is wrong because you're in a dark place. I've been in many dark places. You don't see me trying to Roger some young underage girl. It's not a defense to say I was in a dark place. Doesn't matter.
Toon Critic did that same bullshit.
And
Toon Critic did that same bullshit.
It was bullshit then, it's bullshit now. Now people have made the defense of, well, he's not a pedophile because he didn't actually do anything. Grooming is still a pedophilic act.
And the fact that they even like try to consider, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that too.
No. That's not okay either.
No. Because even if it's revealed that that Victor had zero intent of going through with anything he said to Angel, so he never meant to do it, and we can hook him up to a polym lie detector and prove that what he said was just all masculine bluster. That masculine bluster is still a crime. That's what people seem to not be understanding.
Exactly.
Even that masculine bluster, even if he had no intention of doing it, or it's literally what the President of the United States was called out for. A written or verbal statement of he said grab him by the pussy, and Victor has done many screenshots of saying stuff very similar or masturbating to him. It's still a crime. It is still a crime. That bluster is a crime.
Sorry about that. Just to remind everyone again, I can understand if it's an 18 or a 17-year-old, but anyone who does this to like a 14, a 15, or even an 11-year-old, that's way below unacceptable.
Or any
you're literally
like, this is never acceptable. If they're not 18, you need to just keep you need to keep your mouth shut. You need to keep your pants on.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
Like,
the thing is, it's because the U.S. sometimes allows 17-year-olds for some reason.
In some states, yes, it's minimum, but there are certain rules on what you are allowed to do and what not to do. However, I'm not a lawyer nor am I a law practitioner. But the fact is that you do not do it at all to anyone that is under the legal age of consent. You need to keep your pants on, as Gilda Dash put it, keep your pants on, or wait until they're of the legal age of consent, or at least 18 years of age. It's that freaking simple.
Exactly.
There is only one defense against this. There's only one real defense, and if it's true, it's a legit defense of the other person lied to me about their age and told me they were 18. If you can prove that that's the fact, that's a defense. Maybe not a great defense, but it's still a defense because you were under the assumption they were 18. Victor doesn't have that. He knew she was 14. He knew.
He knew that she was under the legal age of consent, which that is a crime.
He knew it. So he doesn't have the only defense one can legally and morally abide by, which is, of course, the whole, if the girl does lie, the girl does lie. You can't just sort of like, I don't know, ageify her face and go, yep, you're definitely 14. You can't do that. That's impossible. So if she does lie and say she's over the age of 18, that's a legal defense and a legit moral defense. If it happens more than once, twice, we start thinking you're trying to lie. But he doesn't have that defense because Victor knew her age. He knows her age to this day. He knows she's 19 now. So all he would have to do is the math and go, oh, fuck. And he had the math when he did this. He knew from the get-go that Angel was being young and dumb, and he went with it. He indulged in that fantasy. So who's to say he won't indulge in that fantasy again or do worse, because we have no proof he's changing or anything, because he hasn't. He tried to forgive the victim. Nothing this man has done gives any indication towards a legitimate rehabilitation. And even if he did rehabilitate, he still did it. You have to take this into consideration that no one is. Well, I repeat, when I say no one, I mean his supporters. And they literally will defend him and try and badmouth other people to get the defense. It's just pathetic. They're acting like pathetic, childish tits and are trying to bring down people who are supporting a victim to try and make their case. It's pathetic. Straight up pathetic.
Sadly, that's the unfortunate thing that they use as an excuse. It's fear.
They try to use it as a shield, basically.
Not just for the victims, but also for themselves.
Yeah, like, it really sickens me knowing that people like Victor are trying to be like, okay, it was a long time ago, it's no big deal. Like, it's not... Like, yeah, I know she was 14 at the time, and I'm now aware what her age is now. And yes, I know what I did was under the legal age of consent. And yes, you can make the excuse that some states have minimum ages, which, yes, there are some states that have minimum ages, as John put it earlier. However, during the age of consent in some states, even the states that I'm in is 16, there are certain rules what you can and cannot do in those states. Like, something that you can't do that. You need to wait until they are of the legal age. What Victor did is not legal. And the fact that he's trying to say, look, it's no big deal, I just want to sweep this whole drama out of the rug, trying to avoid the real-life consequences of my actions. I forgive Angel for coming out publicly with this, la la la, yada yada yada, feel sorry for me. No, that's not acceptable. And that really ticks me off that pedophiles are trying to paste themselves as victims too, while they want to avoid the real-life consequences of their crimes.
It's really pathetic also how they got in the situation in the first place. Like we've been discussing how Victor got in it in the first place, or even if how Toon got in it in the first place. Really? Drama is your reason, your main reason why you're doing it?
Exactly. And if anybody who tries to say that it could destroy my career here, then maybe you should not have done it in the first place, stupid. There's an idea.
Yes, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. That's
exactly
the base level. If you commit a crime, you face jail time. You can't just change, unless you have the money, of course. But we're not going to get into that. If you commit a crime, you pay for the crime. This isn't a revolutionary tactic. That's literally where it comes from. You pay your debt to society because you fucking committed a crime.
Exactly.
And that's what Victor did. If this was any other offense, he'd be in jail right now. If this was thievery, murder, blackmail, anything, it doesn't matter how much time's passed, he committed a crime.
Exactly. And he had every opportunity to have walked away from that chat, could have apologized to Angel and say, look, Angel, I think we need to talk. We cannot do any more of this. You're too young. I'm an adult. Like, we cannot continue with this before things get really, 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 toxic. I don't want to do something that could emotionally and mentally hurt you, but could get me into serious trouble with the law. If that makes sense to anybody here, because that's a freaking moral sense. But
you know what, me and Ben have discussed this already, and Ben, I'm glad you pointed it out.
Go ahead and point it out.
It's not that hard to walk away and admit, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And like I said, it's not freaking hard. And if you continue it, then you're just as messed up as anyone else is.
Yeah. I'm just going to point this out. I have talked to Victor since this is, happened. And I've asked him on multiple occasions what the hell was he thinking. And I still haven't got an answer that sounded very viable. So...
Yeah.
Because there is no answer, because he committed a crime out of enjoyment.
But,
and that's why, it just upsets me the fact that, this Rachel chick keeps trying to defend him, and trying to,
Here's the thing.
It's frustrating.
Here's the thing. I've seen both sides of this before in my life. I'm gonna put a little something personal out there. Within my family, we have somebody that has, you know, that is a true to life sex offender, pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
And they are a horrible person. I want nothing to do with them. But some of the family excuses them. But he still gets to come to freaking family reunions and sit at the Thanksgiving dinner table. And I can't stand this person. Because, I mean, I was one of their victims. And I have to put up with them if I go visit my family. And I've seen both sides. So the thing is sometimes people just... they're willing to forgive because they care about somebody that much. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is a thing that happens. I mean, it's just like, you know, with domestic abuse victims. A lot of times they'll forgive their abuser because they in their head, it's, you know, they have a reason. They come up with a reason for it.
Mm.
So, I mean, there's no way to tell what the person's thought process is. But my thing is the thing, the fact is though, I mean, I don't even know how to word this.
It's alright.
Try to do
I know that Victor was wrong. He's never gonna, you know, I'm never gonna forget what he did. And I don't know if, you know, I'm not saying that I forgive him or I don't. It's really not my place. I wasn't a victim of this. I'm just a person on the side of the road here. But I mean, what I'd really like to know is what you guys want to see done if the authorities won't do anything, and if he's doing therapy, what would you guys like to see? I mean, that's the big question. What does Angel want to see out of Victor?
Pay his dues to society. And
well, that's what I'm saying. If society won't do
face
anything,
justice.
If the law won't do anything, if the law won't do anything, then what do we do?
Okay.
What do we ask for?
Because in all honesty, if we think of that, we then descend into mob territory, which is wrong.
Yeah.
If the law fails, sadly the law fails, but that's what the point of the raising awareness was about. Because let's be brutally honest, we do live in a society where sadly men aren't convicted of this shit when they really should be, unfortunately, in some cases.
Yeah,
that's a crime. It needs to be fixed. It is getting better. But it's still the case. Now, as I reverse, that's what the point of the raising awareness posts were. Look, just people going, look, this is the case, this is the situation. And I really do think that the thing has been done properly. He's no longer working in the fandom because, in brutal honesty, the fandom doesn't want him. He will obviously have these people who cling on, unfortunately, but the only thing we can do then is talk to them. That's what pisses me off the most about Rachel, is she keeps on saying all this shit about Wubs, she keeps on going around defend, but she won't actively try and talk to Angel or try and talk to Wubs or me. And if she tries to use the defense of I'm blocked, I haven't blocked her, not at all. She can come find me at any point, but she won't.
The block thing is actually viable on me because I did block her on Twitter because I just didn't want to see any posts from her.
That's what I'm trying to say is if she was to pull that defense, she's not with me, so all she'd have to do is literally click 2 keys and she finds me. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Same thing here, Rachel.
You have blocked it, but the defense is gone.
Same thing here, Rachel. If you are seeing this podcast, you're more than welcome to either contact me or Northbridge, which I highly doubt that you are, but again, you are able to contact me on Skype, which...
Well, like I said, after the podcast, it was mentioned that they would actually like to sit down and speak with you, Northbridge, and you, Wubcake. I've tried to reach out to them. Nobody seems to be answering at this moment, but, you know, if you want, I can try and keep in touch with you guys to try and, you know, be the third party that sets it up between you guys if you want.
Yeah, I'm adding another person in the Skype call because it's Red Chaos. He finally got himself Skype. So, Rachel is a pussy. Oh my god, Jessica, really? So, Rachel is a pussy.
No, she is.
But that is my question.
And badmouth people when she won't come to us, that is the act of a coward.
But would you guys want to sit down with her? If I can mediate, if I can mediate them to speak with you, would you guys want to sit down with them?
Sure.
I mean, just because you guys said, you know, come speak to us,
I mean, to be honest, the only thing I want her to do, I guess you can say, is just drop it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm so tired of this. Like, that's the main thing that stresses me out is when I think like everything is kind of, you know, calming down and ceasing, and then someone goes, "So everybody, let's bring this up again." Woohoo! And it's like,
Yep.
Well, I do have to
Well-
apologize for my role in that. I did have a role in that, so I do apologize.
well, I mean, I'm going
That's
to
fine.
take a wild guess
Yeah.
and say that she and her friends were the main ones that, you know, probably were talking about it to you. That said, "Hey, maybe we should talk about this again." It's like, why? And the main thing too is like they're not even involved.
No,
like
they're
this
not.
was Angel and Victor, you know, and maybe me and North, but like I don't even know. Like
And the only reason we're only involved in a sense because Angel, I'm not going to go into details, everyone knows this, it's public because there was a GoFundMe, at the time was having problems with her actual family. So she only had me and 8 Wubs to come to. That's why we're involved, because we acted as sort of pseudo advisors and all that. And that's only because we were close to her. But on the flip side, I'm not trying to be rude, but Victor and Rachel clearly have a close friendship or anything. So, because when he stepped down as Harmony Studio, she became the new boss. So
Yeah,
clearly there
obvious.
is something there.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't obvious. I thought it was going to be Brittany, but because I knew she was involved, and I thought, oh, she'd be it because she was the only one I knew. So,
Yeah.
but I was really thinking that. So yeah, like, there's we aren't going to change Rachel's mind, unfortunately. But what pisses me off the most, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this, which is I'm really sad this is being said on your event, Ben. But I feel like I have to say it here because
No,
there
go
is
ahead
no
and
one
say
else
it.
to say
No, you're welcome to say what you need to say, dude. I welcome it.
She made shit up, tried to make it that other people would listen to her, and if they did listen to her, Harmony Studios would give them work.
Yeah, she
Did you know that?
That's
Can,
for a
can,
bit
Did
of
anyone
back-
else know
can
that?
I ask
She
something?
literally
Well-
told
well-
VAs, "We will give you work if you constantly keep believing
I've heard of
this."
that. Yeah, I've heard of
let me
that.
just give a little bit of backstory there. Like, basically what I Am Shadow told me was, like I said before, she got contacted by Rachel on DeviantArt notes for some reason. I think they even had each other. I think they already had each other on Skype. I don't know. Anyway, she went through this whole spiel trying to paint me as, oh, you know, Wubcake's probably lying. Oh my God, you know, yada 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 yada. How can you know? Don't believe them. And then like at the end, like near the end of the message, she went like, by the way, you're still doing voice work for me. You know, like kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hello, you're still doing voice work for me. You know, sort of thing. And it was very, you know, it made I Am Shadow said it made her feel sick.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask? And here I go again. But do you have like any screenshots of these? Because it would be actually very helpful. You know,
I
I'd
don't have
actually
the
like to
screenshots on me, but I'm pretty sure if you asked Rachel, she could go through her DeviantArt notes and show that she sent that message too. But I'd have to contact I Am Shadow, and to be honest, I don't really want to bring it up with her. She's so
Okay.
stressed about this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I get
if,
that.
If
I'm
anyone,
just,
if anyone wants to,
I was just
anyone's in
wondering
the
if there's
chat
anybody
thinking, Why
else.
isn't... I just want
if
to
it
do
was just
something
I
different.
Am Shadow,
If anyone's in
or if there was others.
If anyone's in the chat or in this call or even listening out on this on the repeats, if you're wondering where's Angel in all this, why is she not saying her piece? Angel is currently, to put perspectively, swamped. She's got a lot on her plate. Hell, we haven't even told her about this stuff because we don't want to add more stress.
No.
Yeah, I told them
No,
that.
it's alright. She told me this earlier.
Oh, you've already told. Okay.
Yeah, we all understand. Nobody
guys-
wants to
and
bring
What you
Angel
guys are
into
doing
this.
is kind of respectful to her, and it's really kind of you doing this.
Yeah.
I'm being honest because I'm speaking on my own behalf as because when I heard about the Tomb thing as well, as you noticed on my channel, I got pissed off with it, and I was in Essex at the time, like I'm going to be again for Christmas, but as again, this shit happens, and this is pissing me off.
Yeah. Jessica Pele wants to say to both North and Wubcake that you are such great friends to Angel. God bless you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. As you were saying, Red Chaos.
Basically, but honestly, Victor, you're right about what you said about Victor. He's a fucking grown man, and
He should know better. He's supposed to freaking know better.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. It's just.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like,
take a breath, man. Take a breath. Take a breath.
yeah, it's okay, dude. Calm down. It's okay and breathe. Everybody in the chats and everybody in this call and everybody who's probably going to see this podcast after it is recorded live, I want to make this abundantly clear. What we are trying to do right now is to explain the best we can about the whole Victor scenario and try to explain why we believe that Victor needs to pay for the consequences of his actions. Because I will say this again, I'm 23 years old, and everything that he said in For No Good Reasons podcast video is a bunch of bullshit, hurry, hard work, sorry, sob story, woe is me, I'm a victim here, please sweep what I've done under the rug, and all that bullshit. Let me make this abundantly clear. As I said this again,
just like fucking Toon.
Yeah.
Prick.
Yes. I'm 23 years old. I'm not that stupid. I agree with Leo Convoy.
I'm 23 years old as well.
I agree with Leo Convoy is we are not stupid to believe that the fact that you're trying to piece yourself a victim, trying to avoid the real-life consequences of your actions, got exposed for what you did with Angel while she was 14, mind you, that you were trying to avoid the consequences of being prosecuted. Because let's be honest here, and I think Victor, if he ever does see this,
Christ.
yeah, I know the feeling, but here's the thing, and I know this is the fact too, is the fact that he is afraid of what would happen to him if he is thrown in prison, and henceforth why I said he better pray to God that he is in protective custody.
Oh yeah, Victor, piece of advice, mate. Don't drop the soap.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
Let's not make light of this. Let's not make light of this. He committed a felony against someone here. I get that there is jokes that can be made, but let's not.
I know.
Let's actually be kind of realistic here.
Yeah.
This is not a good
This is not a
time.
joke. This is not a joke, Red Chaos. This is serious.
I know.
I know, but criminals.
I'm trying to.
I know what you're doing. It's very admirable. It's very admirable, but let's be serious. Criminals do not take kindly to pedophiles. They really do not. They really do not. And from what I've heard from like documentaries,
I've seen prison movies and shows, so I'm well aware what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He better hope to God he's under protective custody. And this is not the time for being I'm not joking. This is dead serious. And I think that's why he's trying to pace himself a victim, because he knew, as much as everybody else here, he does not want to face that consequence. But here's the thing, maybe
at the same time,
he
doesn't want to get beaten up. He doesn't want to face vigilante justice as well from
vigilantism is not okay either. Like, yes, I understand
exactly.
It's not okay either, but here's the thing. I agree with Northbridge. If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. It's that simple. That's what I'm trying to come across here in this podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's just.
I'm sorry.
Yes, but something we all have to, something that has to be, it has to be.
Take your time. Take your time.
Go ahead and say it. Get the dash.
One of the things that we all have to realize is he may not ever see the inside of a jail cell. I mean, as far as I know, Toon Critic is still out and about doing his thing, so...
No, the reason why is they dropped the case. I've done my research. They dropped the case because it's not illegal in the Philippines, so he's done nothing wrong.
But there's my point. We just have to... You can't expect that the law is going to do something here, so we have to just, be willing
raise
to
awareness.
Raise awareness and be willing to accept that there may never be a legal consequence to this. What we have to ask is, if Victor wants to show he's contrite, what do we want him to do to show his contrition?
So, I probably have said this before with a certain individual, is to show proof. Like, talk to a detective or chief if this is a legal way. Again, I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a law practitioner. But I think he should show proof that he is seeking psychological help and went to court and saying, like, yep, like, I'm doing my time, like, I'm being under police watch 24/7 and being very limited of going certain places where there's children involved, etc., etc. being very strict on internet access, if that makes sense to anybody here in this call.
If something else I want to bring up as well, something that
Go
was
ahead.
like glanced over quickly in another sentence. This Victor is painting himself as a victim and forgiving victims and all that shit because he was caught. If he really had changed,
Hang on a second, guys. Go ahead and say your piece, North.
if he'd have actually regretted what he'd done, if he had gnawed away at him and all this stuff,
Wow, that was a
well, he would have
big
done
risk.
something about it, wouldn't he?
Yep, he would have.
He would have gone to, I don't know, help, authority, whatever.
Yes, they can, Jessica Pedley.
he
Yes, they can.
didn't.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just answering a comment. Yes, they can if they... Yes, it's called a restraining brace, if that's correct. How the police...
It's an ankle monitor.
Yeah, ankle monitor, yes.
It's usually used for house arrest.
Exactly. If he is charged under house arrest, then yes, he has to wear a tracking ankle brace because the authorities have to see where he's going and be very limited of where he goes.
Yeah, but like I was saying, he is only doing the stuff he's doing now, talking, mentioning it, because he was caught. If it really mattered to him, he'd have done something about it when it occurred or years ago. He's only trying to backpedal and all this stuff because he was caught. And when that is the case, and when you are doing this because you're caught, it's the same with every criminal. If it really was something you knew you did wrong, you wouldn't be able to just suck it up. You just
No.
wouldn't.
No, you would not suck it up. You would have to face the consequences like an adult. You be a man. You say, okay, I did something wrong. I need to take the responsibility and face the consequences. If I am charged as a criminal and I have to serve my time in prison, then so be it. So be it. You know?
But he
That's
doesn't do
something-
that. He paints himself as a victim. He forgives the victim and all this. Like, you don't have to be intelligent to see these actions, this thought process, and it's
You know what?
disgusting. And then it links in with the people who try and defend him or try and belittle other people for having a legit emotional response to this.
Exactly.
I'm confused about a certain something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I too am the fact that I don't buy his whole like, really, you're forgiving the victim, the person you literally hurts. Like, this is another thing that really made me mad in a way. Like, I noticed that some people started blaming Angel. Like, why would you get mad at the victim?
It's not the... That's another
dumb.
thing. That's a...
Christ.
Yeah, this is a thing I need to point out right now. That is not okay either. That is not right for you to point the victim that it's your fault that you were quiet. Why didn't you come out in the first place? Blah, blah, blah. Put yourself in the victim's
Well,
shoes.
I think the good thing is that was only maybe like one person.
Yeah, thank
Yeah, it
God.
was a very small amount of
It was
people
a
who did that.
very,
God.
very
I know
small.
that it was
I
like
sided
a
with you.
couple of people, but it just made me. It's still even if it was a small group of people,
Yeah, it's
it
still
made me
upsetting.
mad that why did they do that to her?
Exactly. Why? Why would you do that?
Because people are dumb and stupid, and I don't know.
They're just idiots, in my opinion. They're just
They don't
idiots.
have any empathy. That's what it is, you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean. If you ask me, they're a bunch of bigots. If you ask me, they're bigots. That have their heads so far off their butts, they don't know the truth.
That's not the definition of bigot.
Huh?
The definition of bigot is someone who
Okay,
hates due to
I have to
racial
interrupt real quick.
differences.
Go ahead.
Go on.
If I could get Victor in here, would you guys want him in here?
Oh.
No.
No.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie, no, I do
No.
not want to talk to him
No.
at all.
No.
I figured as much, but I figured I would offer.
We've gone past the point of him saying his piece now because
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
done. Yeah, that was the
there's
nail.
No, but I wanted to
has
let,
no-
I
Yeah,
wanted
that
to put the
shit-
offer
Yeah,
up.
that shit's done.
It's
What you-
done.
What you said, Morph. It's
we,
done
we
now.
appreciate the offer, but
The
We
convers-
do.
The conversation between Victor is done. He said his piece. He put the nail in the coffin of what he said is over with. And I know as much as everybody here in this call and in this group chat and my podcast, we will lose our temper with him.
yeah, I will.
And I want
will,
to be civil
literally.
here. I want to be civil here.
Oh, you got that right, Ben. You got that effing right.
I'm sorry, Gilded Dash, if that's rude to say, but I'm being really
No.
honest here.
No, it wasn't rude to say. I wanted to make the offer. I just wanted to put the offer out there because I do know that you said you'd like to speak to Rachel.
Yeah, I
about
do want to
this.
speak to Rachel. Yes, that's.
But I just wanted. I had him. He had come into the podcast room that I had used in Skype, and I figured I would, make the offer.
The thing is, the reason I want to talk to Rachel is because I want to
hear her side.
I want to just understand. No, not even her side. I just want to understand why she's done the action she's done and why she's willing to defend this man who has done nothing to prove he's doing X, Y, Z, and all he seems to have done is commit a crime and then done everything he can in his power to not face the consequences.
And
like,
then
with Victor the man himself, his side is done. Like,
yeah, it's
he's
done.
committed a crime. He's done his side. He said his side like fucking months ago. Like again, another reason why
He has had his ability. He has had the option to speak, and
twice.
And really, I didn't. That wasn't really the object of that. I just wanted to know if you wanted to, speak to him, to speak your mind to him. But I get that you don't want to.
I don't think it would really have any it wouldn't really do anything. You know what I mean?
No, it's not
no one would gain anything from it.
No, but the reason why I want to talk to Rachel too is I want to know what possessed her to not only say that Victor is not wrong here, but the fact is trying to justify his criminal actions, as North put it here. I want to hear that too. I actually want to know why she wants to defend someone that emotionally and mentally manipulated a child and basically said that he masturbated over her. That's what I want to know. Why would she defend someone that says that to a girl? I'm sorry for making everybody uncomfortable for saying that. I'm really getting uncomfortable saying this right now. I'm sorry, but it's not okay.
Yeah, I'm getting Yeah, it's alright, Ben. It's just okay.
We'll never know. She's gonna have to answer that question herself. I can't give you a reason
but she
why.
Won't. I don't think she will. She can prove me wrong if she
never
wants to, but I really do think she will do fuck all.
What is it, Wubcake?
The reason why I think she won't too is because she literally called us SJWs.
Excuse me?
I don't even understand that one. I don't understand.
She literally called us social justice warriors. She said that us putting all the information about him and all that stuff out there is an quote act of social justice. And that's why I don't know. Part of me thinks, while I do want to talk to her, I also don't think we're ever going to change her mind because it seems like her mind's already made up. We're apparently SJWs, right? It's like
I think it's very clear whose side she's chosen now. It's very fucking clear now.
But that's what upsets me. There shouldn't be sides. There shouldn't be this side thing. He committed a crime. If it was any other crime, he'd be in jail. Or I bet you if this was Rachel's sister or Rachel's daughter, I bet in a second she'd be on this podcast saying what we're saying. That's what annoys me. It feels like a two-faced action.
Oh, thank you.
And then she goes around saying, that she goes around saying Wubbs is doing this and North is doing that, and then goes to the other Harmony people who work for Harmony Stew saying, you still work for us, remember? You still are doing stuff for us. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's like these are the actions of someone who is clearly being a dick. Like not even a sense of, oh, I just think we should forgive him. If that was her point, if she legitimately believed in the power of friendship and all that stuff, I could understand it. I'd agree to disagree, and we'd go our merry ways. But it's beyond that now. It's actively trying to undermine people who are defending a victim, and then trying to make statements based on the victim.
Yeah, you're basically trying to paste yourself as this. That this guy is a saint, and you're trying to paste the victim, the bad guy, basically.
It seems like all conversations between either Victor or her are out of the table.
Yeah, they are out of the table.
Yeah.
Well,
nobody's ever suggesting Victor and Angel speak again. That right there is always going to be up to Angel if she ever wants that. But nobody should ever suggest that to her. If anyone does, they need to be smacked.
Yes, exactly.
No. I was referring to not only Victor. I was also referring to Rachel, because what you guys were saying.
Rachel's not out the equation. Rachel's not the equation. We think that's what's going to occur. We will, if she wants to prove us wrong, and literally
prove
come
us
talk
wrong.
to us. Yeah, if she wants to prove us wrong, prove us wrong. We welcome you.
Yes.
But
So
I wanna.
we are saying-
I'd rather talk to her in a call. I'm not talking to her in text because so much shit can be misinterpreted,
Exactly.
and it's just
Yeah.
frustrating.
No, I get that 100%.
I
And
agree.
if you wish to talk to me as well, Rachel, feel free to contact me on Skype. But here's the thing. I am a busy man. I make a living. And if I cannot be available, I'll let you know. But still,
Yeah.
yeah, the thing is, thank you for pointing what you mentioned earlier, North, about put yourself in the position if this was your kid. I'm saying this right now to everybody who are parents here. Put yourself in any parent. Okay, this is a question to Rachel, which I doubt that she's watching this. I'm sorry for stammering and having speech impediment issues, but how would you feel if this is your daughter?
Just go for it then.
I know, I'm gonna say it anyway. Rachel, how would you feel if you have kids, how would you feel if this is any of your kids who was talking to some stranger on the internet, someone that they looked up to, someone that you trust online, was basically telling them we can't date until we're 18, saying all this disgusting stuff to them, and basically telling them, I'm just gonna say this in PG terms, I yank the wanker over you.
Don't be like that. Just say what it is, because we're all
Fine, I
adults.
let's
masturbate
just-
over you. I
We're all
masturbate
adults.
over you. I masturbate over you. You could bet your fucking ass that you would charge at Victor with a furious anger and you would be dragged in handcuffs. Because I'm going to be level with you right now. I am a brother. I am a brother of many siblings. And I will tell you right now, if anyone talked to that
same here.
shit, if anyone talked to that shit to any of my siblings, you're damn better be hoping to God that there are 15 cops restraining my ass from killing you. Because there is no damn way I'll
Same
let
here, Ben.
anyone, there is
Same
no
here, Ben.
damn way that I'll let anyone, or I don't care what gender you are, I don't care about your sexual preferences, you don't ever talk that way to a child. A child is not supposed to know that shit. They are too young to understand. Their mentality state is not
Like,
that
even if-
ready.
Even if their parents gave them the talk, they still don't. They're not like,
ready.
At 14, you're not at the
How old is she? Angel was 14 at the time.
It doesn't matter. Let me just put it this way. We keep talking. People keep talking about age of consent in different countries. Let me put it this way: they're not 18. Just don't do it.
and we ain't living in like whatever
I don't care what country
13-year-old
you
bride
live in.
land either.
I don't care
Exactly.
what country you live in. If they're not 18, just don't take the chance. Just be the person, be the bigger person, and learn to, after 18, I don't care what your age difference is. If the person's 18 and they're sitting, and if you're 18, you want to date a 60-year-old, be my guest. I don't care. At that point, that's between you and them. You're both as consenting adults. But if it's not 18, just leave it be. If you're over the age of 18, period. There's nothing else to it. There should never be, that goes for ERP, which again, I guess I get the place why some people feel the need to ERP with people online.
Yeah.
I even
Because
mentioned
long
this in my
distance
How to Protect Yourself Online
relationships,
video.
online long distance relationships, whatever, that's fine. But
You
think
need to
of
be
your
careful.
ERP, but treat them like it's a real life thing. Don't treat them like you're just something on the internet, because just because there's no physical scars doesn't mean emotionally somebody doesn't get, there isn't an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Everything that Gilded Dash said is true. Like, yes, again, I will clarify, yes, the age of consent is different in some states and countries, yes, but however, as he put it, you need to be careful, and you just need to wait until they are 18 to do shit like that. Like shit like ERPing or ERPing and shit. You need to wait until they're of the legal age to do that. Not under the legal age of consent and all that shit. You just need to wait until they're 18, period. End of story.
And he openly acknowledges, he openly
if
says,
you're here
this
with
is
the UK,
actually...
Ben,
Wait, can I just
Go ahead.
say something quickly
Go
based
ahead.
on the 18 thing? No, it's fine, dude. But this is just relevant, so I don't want to like be going backwards. But this is his own words. I'm actually quoting the screenshot here when it comes to the consent thing. Chuckles, you know we can't date yet till 18. So he openly knows that this is wrong. He knows it's wrong, but he continues to act in it. This isn't just stupidity or morality or dark place. He is willingly committing a crime with intent.
Yep, and Jessica wants to know how old is Rachel?
I have no idea,
No.
but I think she's like in her she's probably a similar
Late
age to
teens,
Victor,
early
but I'm not
20s.
sure. No
I'm
idea,
I'm assuming late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, so around Victor's age,
Yeah.
Probably.
something like that. Boy, oh boy.
Jesus, this podcast is really making our stomachs turn. I can't speak for everybody here, but I'm really getting sick to my stomach just by talking about people sexting and ERPing
Yeah.
with 14-year-old girls. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like,
Fortunately,
man.
when you live through it, it's some things that you just get used to.
I don't. If it's okay to add something here, I'm
No,
not
how
gonna.
dare you try and speak?
Goodness.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
thought we could all do with a little bit of a laugh just
It's
to
okay.
break the tension.
Go ahead, John. It's okay. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, man.
I'll admit, this cannot be overlooked. None of these things could ever be overlooked.
No.
If you did something like this, you are going to pay the price.
Stupid headphones.
But, sometimes it just, every time something like this is brought up, and I'm pretty sure everyone can be on me on the same ship, it really hurts my entire brain for, like, more than 2 days. And
You mean
it just,
if you?
it hurts that this is actually being done to poor people, you know?
Yeah.
And true, we can do something about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like sometimes, and I know somebody talked about this earlier, it seems like the law doesn't care anymore.
Okay, here's the thing. The law...
The law doesn't care. There's just too many loopholes.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Rachel's actually part of the problem. People like Rachel are the problem, actually, because I'm not saying her specifically, like, everything's your fault. I mean, people who do what she does are the problem too, because what you do is you scare victims into seclusion. If you dismiss something, then nothing can come of it.
You're basically...
Because if you constantly belittle the victim and go, well, you know, it's nothing you can forgive, it'll never get sorted. Normally it's by Ponzi men who, you know, are pricks. But in this case, Rachel is doing something wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing too is the fact that Victor is just saying that it's not like how Rachel's saying, like, okay, look, what, it's not a big deal, like, he's like, there's no pictures of whatever, like, of his genitals or whatever, so he's not a pedophile. That doesn't make it that bad. No, it doesn't matter. He said, and quote, and yes, I actually have the screenshot of that certain little quote he said, that he masturbates over her. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
That's the actions of a predator.
yes, exactly. That's pedophilic actions.
And I think something that ticked me off is, like, I had, like, people attacking me in a comment section saying, it's not grooming. It's not grooming. And Rachel was saying the same thing. It's not grooming. It isn't. It really isn't. It's like...
I have to apologize for that. I brought that up originally because I just hadn't seen everything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the original one to point out that, you know, I said something to that effect, and they just grabbed onto that, so I feel
boy.
responsible for that. So I do apologize for that. It wasn't meant to for that to happen that way. I was just, like I said, at that point, I was just trying to make a more a better decision with more information. And, you know, like I said in FNGR's podcast, maybe I should have stepped back for a second and waited for for people to cool down to ask that question. So I apologize that got caught, that people latched on to that saying that I said. I apologize for that.
Victor knew he had to wait until Angel was 18, but his dumbass refused to listen. That's from Blazing Blade VA who said that. Hugs. Thank you, Jess, for that. Even though we can't physically hug each other, thank you for that. Okay.
Thanks, Jess.
Bless her. Bless Jessica Pelly. Just bless her. Bless her. That's why she's like a sister figure to me and all that. But here's the, like, back to the topic with...
Back to the topic at hand, guys. Come on.
Go ahead.
No,
But yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, about the laws in the other countries. Here in the UK, which basically you're hearing this from me, the rules, the sex rule is actually 16.
However, there are certain rules about that. There is some catches in the ages of different ages of consent in some states, and as you mentioned.
Okay, can I just say something now? Can we stop talking about age of consent?
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Yeah, let's just stop talking about this.
We don't need to talk about.
We're not talking
other
about
people's
that.
age of consent, 'cause it's done. I know
that.
I think Red was trying to say something more.
What is the rules? Yeah, like I'm getting tired of saying that, trying to justify that bullshit. I'm getting tired of that. I'm getting tired of like trying to point out the rules and all that shit. I'm sorry, but try to speak a point, Red, because I do agree with North that it is getting a little bit annoying in this podcast. But there is something I need to point out to in the podcast is, I did mention this before in my previous podcast, even Chuck could talk about this, is we need to figure out what we need to do as adults to make sure that this shit doesn't happen again.
Well, the sad part is the fact that, like, this sort of thing is extremely common.
It is.
So, honestly, there really isn't anything we can do. What we did, the only thing we could have done, that we could do, is already done. It was basically spreading out what Victor did. And that's all you can do. And we're not authorities. We don't have any
we're not lawyers.
Authority to put him in jail or put anybody else who does that in jail. The best thing we can do is spread the word.
Exactly.
So, I mean, as crappy as that might be, that's just
the
how
truth.
it is.
It is the sad truth, and that I 110% agree.
And again, the only thing I want, I almost said Angel. The only thing I want Rachel to do is just drop it. Just stop stop bringing it up again. Stop trying to defend him senseless, because, I mean, as much as she probably doesn't want people to know, 99% of people don't fucking agree with her.
I really don't care. I really don't agree with her. I don't agree with her.
She's trying to she's trying to do everything she can, to make it seem otherwise. When Hun, you only have like 2 people like agreeing with you, which is probably just yourself and Victor.
Yep, but what Wubcake said is true. But another thing is that we need to just keep our eyes on individuals like Victor. Just keep our eyes on him, just to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, so that way this does not happen again. And if it does, you could bet your boots or whatever. And that was a terrible joke, but you could bet yourself that we will be right on him. We will be dead on him like red on rice and putting the law on him. Making sure that we report to his local precinct, report to his local authorities about what he's done. You can believe that.
Well, I think it was stated that Leo Convoy said that he was going to do so.
Yeah,
and
he already said that.
Yeah, and I really believe Leo probably did that. I don't think Leo would say he
Leo's
would do
not
that.
talking out of his ass.
He went to Angel too and told her that, that's what he did.
Like, I praise Leo Convoy for doing that. He is true to his word. Like, here's the thing, don't piss off Leo Convoy and don't bullshit him. Because he will put the law down on you real fast. And I really wish he could come in my future podcast soon, because I really like how he states everything in a very valid statement. I really praise the man for doing that.
But yeah, I just, oh god.
This year was pretty much shitty, if you ask me. This year was shitty, not only that, but the whole fact that people are trying to justify this bullshit, but I honestly really want to make sure that this does not happen again. But I will make it so to make sure it doesn't happen again, and to Also, help.
Ben, I'm truly sorry to interrupt,
Go
but
ahead.
if I may quote something, and I kind of agree with Wubcake on this, but
Go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
the way these people try to defend these kind of people is stupid, and that's just the blunt word of it. And these people deserve what they get eventually. And unfortunately, yeah, this year has been bad revealing too much.
Yeah,
And
way too much.
And honestly, I have to agree with Wubcake on the fact that even though we can try and help, basically just being alert and letting people know these kind of things happen is all we can do. Like, and honestly, I wish this would just stop already, because, you know...
I wish that too. I wish that this doesn't happen to anybody else. I don't want this to happen to anyone's kids. Like, I want kids to be in a place that's safe. I don't want kids to be exposed to this kind of garbage. But lo and behold, it's people like Victor and many others that don't care, that want to abuse
And the reason
that.
why I say that is because every time this happens again, it not only affects the victim, but it affects all of us trying to correct it, you know?
Yeah.
And I can tell already I can tell already I'm not the only one who's on the ship that it hurts everyone's heads for a big long while.
Honestly, I really did not care about Victor. Like, after the podcast with Leo bashing on Victor, I was like, thank you, Victor, for doing this for me. Bless you, man. And now I could just work hard, work on my content, like maybe do some reviews, maybe do some voice acting, which I pretty suck at voice acting, to be honest with you. But yeah, just do my own thing without any problems. But it was until the podcast with Gildadash had done with Rachel and with Rachel's BS, it made my head hurt even more. Like, that pain that was in my cranium, it just doubled. It just doubled. If that makes sense to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, because I was like, I mean, no, I didn't watch the podcast or anything. Because I was busy doing real life things, but I know my head was just feeling funny from what's going on for some reason. So I had this funny feeling, but I wasn't gonna say anything to it.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
The podcast was going to happen one way or the other, whether I was involved or not. That probably would have happened. So
True.
That is true. Yeah, I'm not speaking against that. Far from that.
No, I understand. I just wanted to, you know, make sure that, you know, it's understood that I didn't go out of my way to bring this, you know, bring it back up to hurt anybody. But
no,
I knew this was going to happen one way or another, so I went ahead and tried to do it in such a way that, you know, it was in more of a neutral territory than, you know.
You're trying to gain. Yeah, what you're trying to do is. Oh God, what's the proper interpretation for this? I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'm just trying to describe what you're trying to do with your podcast. It's like you're trying to gain understanding. North and everybody else in this call, please correct me about this, but that is what you're trying to do? You're trying to gain understanding with the whole incident? Is that what you're trying to do?
I didn't. The thing was, I didn't want there to. I didn't feel the podcast should be hosted by somebody that was just gonna be, you know, that was just gonna, you know, spout rhetoric, you know, spout things that were on just somebody that was on Victor's side, because they would have just tried to spin it in such a way that it made Victor look better. I felt it'd be better if it came from a neutral party that, you know, just didn't really, you know, didn't quote unquote pick a side, that just was there to let the facts speak for themselves.
Yeah.
But I really think how Rachel did in that podcast was really wrong by me. I really think what Northbridge said here earlier in this podcast, again, dude, everything you said earlier in this podcast, that is so right by me. And thank you for saying that. And everybody in my chats even agreed that, I'm sure everybody in the chats can agree that's very valid points. but I really want everybody to understand that that's not okay. Everything that Rachel said in Gilded's... I'm sorry, your name is very hard to pronounce. Gilded Dash, thank you. I'm
Just
sorry.
Stick to Dash.
Huh?
Just stick to Dash.
Stick to Dash. Okay, fine. Dash, fine. Everything that is said in Dash's podcast is... Everything that Rachel said in Dash's podcast is not right by me. But everything that North Bridge here said in my podcast is right by me. There's a difference. If that makes sense to anybody in this call and in this chat. Alright, but again, I want to thank everybody here, especially Wubcake and North, for coming into this podcast. I really thank you.
Yeah, sure thing, man.
And again,
No problems.
I'm very honored, and I'm glad that I get to hear everybody's opinions and everybody's statements about the whole Victor Vortex drama. And what I recommend we need to do is just not only support Angel, like, I know that she's busy, she has a lot on her mind, that's understandable, and I really wish the best for her, and I really think that you guys are great friends, and I'm very thankful that she has people like you guys to help her out in this situation, and I just really hope that she recovers from this. I really think that she doesn't deserve this at all. I think she deserves to be happy, deserves to find someone that will love her, and deserves to find someone, deserves to have friends and family online and outside the internet that will help her every step of the way. And I applaud you and North, Miss Wubcake, for doing that.
Well, thanks for having me on.
No, you're quite welcome,
same.
Miss Wubcake. And you're
Real
quite
quick.
welcome. Yes?
Yes?
Nothing for the podcast. Wubcake North. If you guys don't mind, after we stop streaming, I would just to speak to you guys for a few minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Alright,
I was planning the same thing anyway.
Alright, if you guys wish to contact me about, anything in general, I am available on any social medias, on Twitter, Facebook, and even on Skype.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
more
I
than
have
welcome.
you on Discord, too. So.
Yes, and Discord, too. Yes, we did add each other on Discord
I
a while
am
back.
none of you.
No, did you just say I have none of you?
people!
I hate my laugh so much. I hate my laugh. No, don't laugh like a hyena in a mucus bed. Don't do that. I'm sorry. I really hate my laugh. I'm sorry. Alright, I think that's the time we have for tonight in the Jedi Griffon podcast. Again, thank you all for coming into this podcast. If you wish for me to add any of your guys' social medias in the description, please add them in the Skype call, and I'll just add them below the description, if that's alright with everybody. But, I guess that's the end of the Jedi Griffon podcast. So, I guess this is where I say I'm Ben Maza, and yeah, all that stuff. I'm sorry. Ugh. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm trying to say a sound of, ending this podcast, and I always have speech impediment issues.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay, Ben. Just
It's fine, dude.
Okay, alright, everybody, thank you for coming to the podcast. I want to wish you all good night, happy holidays, and thank you for coming. Have a good one.
You too.
yeah, you're welcome, Ben.